tonight we got a great guest. We have Gregory James, and he's a certified drone operator. He's a director and producer of various media. He does a lot of videotaping. He goes to corporate offices, and I think he does like training videos and all kinds of stuff. So, and I've seen some of his videos, and it's just like he put together a documentary, which Phil is very familiar with because he's actually done some documentaries. So he's a very interesting person, and also too, he's my next door neighbor. And what he also too he gave me some brisket. So I might chow down if I get hungry. So anyway, Gregory, since we have you on here, thank you for being on the show. How did you get involved with being a certified drone operator?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Phil and Paul for just allowing me to be on the show, and Paul for your encouragement because I'm always behind the camera, so and I wanted to get in front of the camera for many years. I just haven't brought myself to be a face and a personality. So I was really taking this opportunity to kind of like get used to my voice and getting in front of it. But to answer your question, like you said, I've been doing film and video, not so much film, but just a lot of video for multiple kind of clients. And like for years, like the drone industry started taking off, and guys' videos were like expanding, and I was like, nah, I stay on the ground. I do all my work on the ground, and then about 10 years after the big drone boom, I guess I was like, okay, I'll try it. So I started flying. I got like a little small drone, started flying a little bit, and then my brother is what really kind of got me into it. He started like building his drones. Like I was buying the already pre-made DJI drones and stuff like that, and he was buying like city whoops and race drones and actually getting circuit boards and building drones. And yeah, that's kind of when I went all in, and something called a FPV, which is a first person viewer. So you put on goggles and you fly, and what you see, what you see is where the drone is going. And so yeah, there's a lot about flying drones. There's stable mode, there's acro mode, there's different type of drones, cinewhoops, speed drones. So yeah, I got into it just because I wanted to take my video production kind of to the next level, to be able to have some kind of opening established shot is huge. And so yeah, I kind of was like, I'll just start taking the class. It was an online class, and the guy was offering it was like 100 and some odd bucks. And I took the test. I mean, I studied for a while. I studied for like 3 months. Got to understand the clouds, different signs. Yeah, it's just like getting a driver's license. You got to do the work, apply yourself.
And so you do a lot of B-roll, probably from aerial, right?
That's all I use. That's all I use the drone for is B-roll.
Wow! Wow!
That's all I use it for.
Yeah, because of the sound, Paul. It's the you would have to dub if you're actually. I've tried to use it to like for following shots to follow people because they're so smart, especially the DJI drones, that you can actually just have them follow you. And if you try to speak at the same time, the sound is going to drown you out. Even if you have like the real silent propellers and things like that, it's just not going to work for you. But your B-roll is absolutely amazing. And even helicopter footage isn't as good or as stable as drone footage is nowadays. And it's at, I want to say pennies, not even a tenth of the price, literally pennies of the price of it would cost you to rent a helicopter and a large camera to stabilizer and things like that. So it truly is amazing what you can do now with a drone.
It's amazing that you say that, Phil. DJI just released a new little mini drone that follows you. It's for bloggers,
Yeah,
and that's it's all based around following you, small package. And then just right before Black Friday, they released their new microphone system. It's called the DJI Mic 3, and it actually pairs Bluetooth with the drone. So your
nice.
drone, like you could be like talking, have a mic on you, and then hey, I'm here in Jamaica or whatever, and then boom, the drone like takes off, and then it's a couple hundred feet
Awesome.
away, and you're still talking, and it hears you.
So is it small enough to where you don't have to have it registered or anything like that, and it's not
Yeah, yeah, it is for sure. It's under the 249 grams for sure.
yeah, that's exactly the 249 thing. I know a friend of mine passed away. We did 2 documentaries together, and when he passed away, his wife gave me his drone, which is a Mavic 2 Pro, which was a
Okay,
beast of a drone, especially
it is.
4 or 5 years ago when she gave it to me. I think it was like brand new,
Yeah,
but that thing follows you and does everything you want, and it comes. And if you lose sight of it, it'll come back home,
return
which
to
is
home.
amazing. Because it's really easy to lose sight of things. That's the other thing too. Is I have the goggles, so and it's an awesome experience. Like you're an actual pilot inside the thing, but there's the law or the requirement. You're supposed to actually never lose sight of your drone. So if you're wearing the goggles, how can you actually be watching the drone? It's like you have to have another person with you to maintain eyesight on that drone while you're doing your first person
Yeah, so when you
there.
take a contract, as a certified operator, there's different forms. I can go out and just be flying, not under contract, and I don't have to have a license. But if you're hiring me to fly for you, and I'm wearing goggles, then I am what we call the PIC, the person in command or person in charge. So I have control over the drone. And then the terminology is slipping me. I have to have a second person. Their name is I will call them a
Spot,
watcher, a
like a
spotter.
spot.
That there it is. There it is. See, I would have failed that question. So I need to kind of study up because I need to renew. If it doesn't have just recently expired, then I have to apply again. So, but yeah, you have to have a spotter that has eyes on it. But even if you're not wearing the goggles and you're flying from a regular hand controller, you still need to have a spotter. So yeah, I like kind of flying without having to be under contract.
Yeah, I like it too. I hate the 5 mile rule with the airports because it seems no matter where I'm at, there's always an airport within 5 miles, which is a nightmare. And then the other thing about going over people without a parachute, do your drones have the parachute and the safety mechanism? Yeah, that's
No,
always something I was worried about.
yeah, I never really flew much over people, but
But if you like,
actually,
yeah,
that's not
go ahead,
true.
sorry.
I was inside of a venue. I was inside of a venue flying. I shouldn't have done that. And it got away from me. Nobody got hurt, but I'll never fly inside again. That's for sure.
Gregory, Halo Paranormal Investigations, which is my group, we actually had a drone operator. So we would go on the investigations and do aerial shots. And it was really good because we did a Bigfoot hunt and she showed up and she had her drone through there and we were looking for Bigfoot. So that was really cool. Hey,
Yeah,
so if I were to fly a drone and I'm not certified and I got caught, what would happen?
Get it
nothing.
confiscated, right?
Nothing?
Well, well,
Well, it depends on who
um,
takes it where you're at. If you're in a state park, they're going to take it from you. If you're
oh
over
yeah,
federal, if you're in federal property, anywhere near a government installation, they're going to take it from you. If you're in a no-go zone, those type of situations, they're going to take it from you. If you're anywhere else, the thing is most of the time people aren't going to bother you. But I'd say that your bigger threat is hillbillies trying to shoot your drone out of the sky is what you got to worry about because there's a lot of people that hate drones, especially down here in Florida. You got to watch that stuff.
Yeah, 100%. So I would say there's two parts to that question. The first part is, are you flying as under your FAA certification, or are you flying just as, you know, Paul today, right? So if you're flying just as, hey, my next door neighbor Paul, and you go out and you fly your drone just about anywhere in Sacramento, other than SMF, the airport, you're perfectly fine. That's if your drone is under 249 grams, right? You're perfectly fine. If your drone is any more than 249 grams, then it should technically be registered with the FAA. You don't have to have a license or anything. It just has to be certified with them. It's like $8. So yeah, if something happened, then your drone could get confiscated, but nobody's going to come and ask you if your drone is certified or anything like that. But quick accident, something happened and it's not, then it's a problem. Now, if you're flying under your FAA certification, oh, and then flying under FAA certification, we only really talk about that. But yeah, like Phil was saying, national parks you can't fly in, hospitals, with launch pads. So, but like you said, I think I've had somebody shoot one of my drones out the sky.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, it did suck.
it's happening.
Oh, he made it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gregory, this is Dan Dean, Paranormal Soul Brother. So
Nice to
anyway,
meet you, brother. Nice
Yes,
to
sir.
meet you. All right, all right, all right. Okay.
we're talking drones.
Yep. Oh, I brought my glasses too because I seen you on another episode. You had your glasses. I don't know where I put them.
Hey, hey, get put them on, man. Put them
Yeah,
on, please.
hold on. Let me see if they're over here. Hold on.
Yeah, let's
JD,
get out.
look at this. He made some brisket for me.
I love it. Oh, man. I was wondering who made that when you said that. Okay, that's who made. All right, man.
Yeah, now you know. Yeah,
You got it made in the shade, bro.
made in the shade.
What's up, Phil?
What's up, Zandine?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I can't find them.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah,
You
Greg.
still got a whole show. You might,
Hey, Gregory. Okay, check this out. Okay, he will. Okay, we do like a food exchange sometimes. Sometimes I'll give him some fruit or whatever. But he's giving me turkey, stuffing, ham and cheese croissant sandwiches, ribs, fish, brisket, and I got brisket right now. You name it. I mean,
Hey, show them the brisket. You gotta show them a piece of brisket.
oh yeah.
man, you got so lucky, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Texas style,
That ain't
10-hour post oak Texas style
Oh
brisket.
man,
Okay,
ain't
check
right.
this out. Okay, uh, he asked me. He had his little power saw, and he asked me if he can cut a few leaves, right? And I said, yeah, sure. I go out there. He ripped that tree apart. It was a big old date palm tree, but it looks great. And my whole
equipment,
front yard is just beautifully done. It's like $7,000 worth of work, and he just did it for nothing.
man.
And check
Sometimes
this out.
hey, you got the luck. You got the good neighbor for real.
Yeah. Tell me about
He's a
it.
he's a good neighbor.
And
He showed
check
pictures
this
of the
out,
food,
Zandy.
and I didn't realize it was you that cooked. But that looked. I was like, Paul's like getting look like some soul food over there.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
Gregory. Okay, check this out. I put pictures of your food on my timeline. People.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they see it on my Facebook.
Yeah,
Zandine,
that's what I
you've
was
seen
talking
it,
about.
right?
That's what I was talking
Oh.
about. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll bring you some of these. I'll bring some of these red beans that I'm eating right now. My wife made some red beans, and I actually smoke fried a turkey for Thanksgiving. You got to smoke it for 2 hours, and then you take it out and you put it in that grease for a good 10 minutes, 7, 10, 15 minutes, depending on how heavy that turkey is. And then And then the best part of it is not just like eating the turkey and giving it away to the friends and family, but it's making that turkey soup with the carcass.
Uh,
Man, oh man, the turkey soup is fire. And so then I went in there today and I got so much meat in there because I got 3 turkeys this year and only served up one. And I got all kind of like shredded up meat. So I put the meat in these red beans right here. Fire.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, too
Oh,
bad,
that sounds
Sandy.
good.
You
Yeah,
don't
that
get
just sounds
done.
good in the mouth, man.
Yeah, you guys better come be neighbors with us.
Yeah, I wish I was in
Hey,
Sacramento
Phil,
still.
I'll probably get
Hey,
there
Greg,
before Phil do. I guarantee you that. But Phil, come on, man.
Yo, what
hey,
part of Florida are you in?
I'm
What?
in Flagler Beach, from about 20 miles north of Daytona and 30 miles south of St. Augustine.
Okay,
So
okay.
have you been to
right
Florida, Gregory?
Oh yeah, I love Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you
I
been?
went to
Okay, I never.
Disney World over in Florida.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I just
Yeah.
got back from Florida. I was at West. I was in South Beach.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Okay.
Wow.
wow. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
for
Nice.
for a week. I had to shoot B-roll for a corporate company called Dun Humby, and they put us up at the Ritz Carlton in South Beach.
Wow.
Wow. The Ritz
Yes.
Hey, check
Carlton.
this out. I went to a Halloween party, and Gregory sent one of his photographers with video camera and filmed the whole thing, and it came out beautifully.
Wow.
And we got a bunch of hits on it too. Yeah,
And I think he shot it, and I edited it for you.
yeah, 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 yeah. It came out really good.
That's
That's
insane.
awesome.
But yeah, on the
Great. That's
media
good work.
coverage, I mean, Gregory has it handled. Hey, but I was going to ask you, Gregory, in Carmichael and over at Folsom Prison, I was on the Johnny Cash Trail, and I went to the Folsom Prison Museum, and I saw a swarm of drones over in Carmichael, and I saw a swarm of drones over the prison. And I talked to one of the correctional officers over there, and he said no drones should be flying over Folsom Prison. And he goes, "Are you sure that's you saw that?" I said, "Not only that, I had another witness with me." And then they said that's impossible. But I'm telling you, I saw it. It was a swarm of drones that were flying all erratically, and it was right above Folsom Prison. What do you think is going on? What's
Uh, Man, it could be anything, but it could be a flock of birds, but a swarm. It's where you say that though. I sat on a plane many years ago with a guy who was trying to get a contract with the government, and he was looking for ways to deploy swarms of drones. They want to be able to put up like 200 drones in a matter of so many minutes, and he was actually like bidding on how to be able to do that. We've seen the drone shows. They do fly in swarms. Somebody could have been programming something and, had some drones out flying. A lot of the drones that I fly, I can't fly over a prison because it won't even take off. I'll turn it on and it says, you're in a zone where you're not allowed to fly, and it won't even take off. So it's a no-fly zone, right? But there's other drones. You can make a drone and then you can fly it wherever you want to. So yeah, somebody could have technically been flying over Folsom with a couple of drones, just programming and
The
time.
race, the racing drones that you were talking about. I've
Yeah,
seen some kids doing amazing things with those, and they're incredibly maneuverable. Like those rings that you have at like the old jungle gyms. I've seen kids
right.
hitting right through those things at like full speed. 40 miles
Yeah,
an hour things.
yeah.
So I'm just wondering if you got maybe 4 or 5 kids with their racing drones. Like when you say swarm, Paul, how many about? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about hundreds. It seemed
Oh,
like it was a good, like in Carmichael, I would say about 100. Folsom Prison, maybe 100, 150. There was a lot. And there
Oh,
was
wow.
That
there
seems
was a fine way.
more like a military thing than something that a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also too, Phil sent us a video, not a video, but a news article about New Jersey, and
Yeah,
it was a swarm
that's what I
of.
want to ask you about, Gregory. I mean, you know, Paul, I just wanted to tell him, man, it's like this is turning out to be probably like the most interesting show we've had because when you said him in the drones, with everything that's going on, it's like you're an expert at knowing at least what probably isn't a drone, you know. And so with everything happening, man, I was like blown away that you were even coming on the show. So first of all, I'd like to thank you right on for coming on to the show, man. What do you what do you think about those New Jersey drones? They said they were as big as the car, and I'm like,
Yes.
he has a GoPro one that's $4,000 and it's small.
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually just looking at that video. I came across that because I was trying to look for some content to make sure I was on my P's and Q's for the night. And I actually came across that, and the guy was like, yeah, those drones are huge. And do you know how much battery power you would need to keep something like that in the air
Yeah.
for more than a few minutes? Because usually all the small racing drones, those have a fly time of like 4 to 5 minutes.
Oh,
Like
okay.
if you're doing 5 minutes, you're doing great. I mean, especially if you're going full speed and going through the loops and stuff like that. But they don't all fly slow, and to keep something in the air that long, you would need a lot of battery power. So I would question what's going on in the skies. I was doing some research on the YouTube, read a few articles, and I was like, okay,
Wow. Wow. If you say that. Well,
Got to
like
be
guys
more
like
than a
Luke
few Tesla
Elizondo, what do you think
batteries.
of guys like that work in the UAP program, and he's, he has to look at all kind of, I guess, what would be drones or advanced, because we feel in Paul being military, they're like my dad always says, like, well, what makes you think it's not us? So that thing,
yeah,
but
Paul. I
Well,
mean, go ahead, Phil.
I was just going to say, it doesn't necessarily have to be a battery-powered drone if it's a military drone. If it's a military drone, it could have, jet power source, gasoline power source. It could be, internal combustion engine of some kind, which would, give it a longer flight time. Or, I mean, if it were battery powered, it could have, a couple of Tesla racks in that thing. We're talking if something that big's got to be military, or I mean, otherwise, who else would be able to afford something like that? You're talking about $500,000, maybe even that. This is not cheap technology. I'm sure you've seen the manned drones. You can't even really call it a drone, but the ones that can carry one person and it's like a 500-pound capacity. It's got to be even bigger than those things. And then on top of that, they have lights. So how much juice are those lights, using while it's up there too? So maybe it's not battery powered. And then the other thing is like, why? Why New Jersey? Hey, New Jersey has a lot of petrochemical things going on. Always has. That's why they called it the armpit of North America.
And you got
Especially
Fort Dix, New Jersey too.
Yeah, Fort Dix hasn't really been super active since World War II as a training base, so I'm not quite sure it's Fort Dix, but the petrochemical industry has never stopped being active in that area. So, and then I think there's still an active nuclear power plant up there. We talked about the UFO transition to nukes. So, I mean, I don't know what it is. I was curious if you knew, Gregory, anything about the history of drones, whether the military had the technology, how long they had it before it was released to the public. Because I only know, when it became kind of like,
Phil, you faded away.
Yeah, you faded away, and Paul, your dog is growling.
Okay, hey guys, calm down.
I wonder what that noise was.
I'll put AJ on you.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you knew anything about the history of the drone technology or how long the military may have had it before it was released to the public.
No, not at all. I don't. Actually, I just Googled that just to
Yeah.
quickly have that available in front of me here. Monty
It
Golfer
just
brothers in France launched their first unmanned hot air balloon in 1783.
yeah,
And
that's going back a bit.
I'll show
Hey,
you unfortunate. Go ahead.
It
Gregory.
just seems like
Okay.
it's so much more stable than helicopter technology.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it have been used in the military capacity prior to this? We know that unmanned flight is definitely going to be the future of warfare, just because it's cheaper and more accurate. I'm sure you've seen those swarm drone videos where they show sending a swarm of drones into enemy territory and taking out people like that. And I
Right.
really do believe that is the future of warfare. I think
Uh,
Ukraine is doing it's a great effect right now against Russia.
Hey.
1944, the U.S. Army. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Paul.
Oh, okay. I'm just. What's the difference? Okay, with a drone, and then you have a motorized, let's say, toy airplane that can fly around and stuff like that. And I even think they have toy helicopters that can actually hover. Why can't people just use that instead of drones?
Stability.
Stability. Yeah, a drone. You can. An aircraft is just meant to go, this way and then bank and then bank. But a drone can swivel. It can swivel, so it can swivel around and go wherever it wants to go.
Ah.
Okay,
So
nice.
they have full control of them, and when you're flying in ADI mode, you have every single muscle memory of what you're doing. Your fingers are actually always constantly moving, because you're controlling the motors. So when you have constant control of the motors, you can tell the drone to, you see, like you said, the guys flying through those loops. They'll fly through the loops, hit a spin upside down, and then come through the loop again. And then in the middle of that, they'll flip themselves and then do it again. It's beyond me, of how they have that kind of control to be able to, it's crazy. So, imagine what the Air Force or the U.S. Army since 1944, radio controlled bombers, and with the advancements that we have now, GPS. The GPS on my DJI drone is just out of this world. It just knows where I am at all times. And a DJI drone, I put it up in there and it just sits there. I can put the remote down, and I don't have to do
Yeah.
anything. Whereas the racer guys, they're actually building those drones, so it doesn't just go up and sit. You have to learn how to go back and forth to make it hover and sit right there.
Oh, okay,
Wow.
Gregory. If you've seen Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch on the History Channel, they use a whole bunch of drones, up to 200, and they're able to maneuver them all at the same time. They all coincide, and they do things together. How is that all possible? Is that done on a computer?
It is.
Oh,
It would have to
wow.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, drone shows it. Google. I know how it's programming. You have all the same type of drones, and you write in a code that says, "Here's our timeline. All right, we have a 3-minute timeline. At this frame, you are in this location. At this frame, at this time sequence, you are in this location." And then so you can dot out a course of what a drone is going to do, and then you save that preset, and you say, okay, well, in this universe of this space, this is X and Y axes, and you've coursed their track. Now you're saying, okay, this next drone is going to be here. Now you apply that same sequence to this drone, but less or minus where it is in the sequence, then you just apply that to all the drones, and now they all fly in that sequence.
Oh, okay, okay.
Over that amount of time.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's like keyframing for when you edit video. You say, start here, you make a point, and you go down the timeline, and you say, okay, at this point, I want you to be here. And then that point moves from there to there.
And Phil's shaking his head like this, so he's agreeing with you.
Well, the keyframe concept.
I see you said something.
The keyframe concept is a good point for video editors. Anybody who's edited video could kind of make sense of that. Also, if you can imagine trying to mark things on a grid and then, you know, do it frame by frame, that's kind of the way to do it. And even with 200 drones, I bet you it's cheaper than one helicopter ride.
Yep, that's so true.
Hey, Phil, I think Zandine sent you something in the group chat. I think it's some video.
I sent you several links, but the last one actually has something that actually splits into about 8 pieces, but you can clearly see it going to 4 things that actually split. Might be
is that when the light fireball was coming down from the sky, and then it broke off, and it broke off multiple times, and there was more.
You saw that?
There was more. I seen that.
Wow.
That was different.
Okay. It got pretty. You know, some other links I sent there. You can pick. You can take your pick. Like Phil. Like I just sent some stuff to ask him because his professional opinion, like what he thought they were. You know. This one. Yeah, this is the one that splits. He saw this. Yeah, here it comes. Right on, Gregory. That's a trip, man. I didn't know you saw that.
Yeah, have you ever seen a DJI drone up close, Paul?
No.
It's like something out of Terminator. The noise that it makes and the fact that it follows you with the camera, and that the camera actually moves like an eye and it looks at you, and it just kind of sits and hovers and just watches you. And it's so stable you could literally rest your drink on top of it. It's
wow.
Oh yeah, and then you throw your goggles on, and suddenly it's like you're on it. You're in the aircraft.
Holy cow!
And this is not new. I mean, this was available 5 years ago, maybe
Phil,
longer.
You experienced that?
I have one in the closet.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you got. I want. If you got to see that one, Phil. Man, look, you got to tell Gregory about that one, man.
Well, Gregory, I'm sure he has better than I do. He's a paid professional. I'm just a hack.
No, that's true. I like my DJI Mini. It's small. I don't have to register it. I can get flight indoors. Hey,
and don't forget, he's a chef.
Oh man, it's all related too. You probably some martial arts too, huh?
Nah.
No.
Nah. I'm just trying to get into shape, man.
Any art? Any art?
Art? I'm a video editor and a video photographer. Yeah, so
that is art.
That's definitely an artist. Yeah. So that video, I didn't see that particular video, but the one I seen was even more questionable. It was a big fireball coming down from the sky, and then it broke up. And then it broke up some more, but those pieces didn't fade away. They stayed floating in the sky. And I was like, that looks a little bit suspect right there. I'm going to try to find it and send you the link in the meantime. But, yeah, the one that you just played, though, that, and I thought you were going to ask me about flying at night. I don't fly at night because it's hard to really fly at night because you can't see. You're going to lose a drone, and you kind of can't see the image on the camera anyways.
Yeah, don't you have to have a permit to fly at night?
There is some kind of new license to fly at night or an understanding of when you fly at night. But yeah, it's really hard to fly because you can't see your drone and you can't see what your drone sees. So
Yeah, this,
anything video that we have of objects flying in the evening time is going to be real questionable if that's something else other than a drone.
Which is
even
why
you,
I sent that other one, Phil. That one you see the like bright colored. I don't know what it was, but it turned from an orange, like a hot burning, like almost looking like a coal with a flat plate, like ship or whatever it was. And I got out the van, and the ship, I was filming it while I was rolling, and so the ship was going like this. It didn't fly like that. It was actually going pretty steady. And then when I zoomed in, it morphed. It started turning colors, and you'll see. I mean, it's pretty long. You can just show a little bit of it later. But
And you
I
sent
think
Dave,
this, you sent this, Zandine, to Phil?
I think yeah, it's there.
Okay.
it's let me take a look.
It has like a weird. It has a multicolored rainbow orb. It should be like the prettiest
Oh,
color.
okay. I see that. Hold on a
It
second.
started out as one thing, and like I said, and it started. But some lady just posted something on TikTok. She got a couple 100,000 views about just thinking that she thought Venus was morphing like this a little bit.
And Zandine, you took this photo?
Yeah. I show some stills in the beginning, but I'm gonna actually show it going. But yeah, that's the one it started from right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It-
The problem with trying to film light is like try to take a picture of a light bulb when it's on. It
exactly.
doesn't work. Yeah.
Now
It's
that's it. That was it in the night sky. I had it just for a quick second. I'm gonna slow it down though. I'm gonna just take it slower.
It's going in circles.
It is.
that literally
Gregory,
looks
do you
like
think a lot of people are mistaking drones for UFOs
Now
or
what? Yeah.
UAVs?
Yes.
Yep.
Now here it goes. I stop to try to look. Now this is where the colors start. And you don't have to. You can play. It goes on for too long, but this is right here.
that's pretty wild looking.
So
Drones are
look,
the only thing that we have that actually move like UFOs are supposed to move.
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't know what that was. It morphed from one thing to another. It was in Concord. Well, kind of by the Livermore Lab, not too far.
That looks
Well,
like
it's in
Tinkerbell.
Concord.
It's,
You know what? Also, too, Zandine, I love this video, but the only thing is, it'd be great if we had something to compare it to. Like if there was a
Yeah.
tree
Well,
or a
I can
car.
tell you one thing. That stoplight when we first came on, there was a red stoplight, and that's how because I was right by a street light when I first started taking it. But I know what you mean. I was just showing you. Yeah.
So that way we can try to estimate the size
Yeah.
of it and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
we don't need to do them. That's the MUFON thing. We do that all the time, but
did you shoot this? Was this shot on your phone? Did you get this on your phone, Zandy?
No. This is on a camera, but like I was actually in the car and it stopped, but then as it started moving, I was trying to follow. So it wasn't if it was on a tripod, I probably would have got it much better. I slowed it down, but I just thought it was
Okay.
interesting colors, and it changed from that hot red. I was passing the street light, and I said, "Hey, what's that? What's that?" Because it definitely in the nighttime sky, it was like something like burning. Like I never saw any colors like that low. It was pretty low. Well, looked low anyway. But there's another. I mean, you got all kind of stuff on there, really, that I sent you. But this just I like the colors on that. And Gregory probably, he probably seen something like this. I'm sure it has a drone like that lights up or knows
Yeah.
this type of drone.
Like
Yeah.
that?
Not like this. This would be UFO. I mean, that's unidentified to me, especially if it's floating around like that. So I'm going to send you a link here.
It's too erratic.
Gregory, you sending me a link?
I'm putting something in the chat. Where's the chat at here?
Oh, the chat.
There it is. I see it. I see it.
Cool.
Okay, Phil, you see that?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just saw it. I saw the link. Yes.
This is your part of the woods, Phil.
Yeah. Let me let's get back to this. Let me get back to it now.
This is what I seen.
Wow.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, that I saw this video. They have a similar one too over in Jerusalem, where the UFO went down to the.
Wow.
I just seen that one. Yes, I just seen that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
See that? See how
That's
they're still
cool.
hovering?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're not. It's not going out,
That's not
and
going out.
and it's definitely not. That's not drones.
No.
Hell no.
That is weird.
All right,
That is
she's.
cool.
That is weird.
That's me doing my homework.
Okay, let me see if I can find the one with in Jerusalem. That's a good one.
Yeah, that one is good.
And that is amazing. And you guys don't think it's drones, huh?
Not that one. Hell no.
Okay.
No, that at first it almost looked like a military. Yeah. You ever see an M203 grenade launcher with a star cluster where they on a parachute, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of that, but a hell of a lot bigger, like on a massive scale. So
That is amazing.
that's just meant to light up the night, in military ops. But that thing looks, I wouldn't know what that was for.
Oh, I think I found the video. This one is amazing. And Zandine, if you've never seen this, you're going to be blown
I've seen
away.
it. I've seen it.
Morning, some say maybe proof we're not alone
I
in
love
the
it.
universe.
Okay, let me go ahead and send it on the group.
Check it out.
Okay. Yeah, there's so many mysterious things in the sky now. It's like you can't tell if it's something from the government, extraterrestrial, interdimensional. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And the UFO sightings are everywhere now. That's all you ever hear on the news now is that there's a UFO seen here and UFO seen there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all those damn people with drones.
Well, there's a lot more. Yeah, there's a lot more stuff in the sky. There's how many? I'm guessing, but isn't there something in the range of 20,000 satellites that are circling, orbiting the Earth right now?
Oh yeah, yeah. Not only that, you got all that space junk.
Oh yeah, all the debris. Isn't it all? And it's all orbiting at like 18,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So, and anytime that stuff falls into orbit and starts to burn off, you end up with crazy lights, things like that.
Hey, Phil, I just sent you the link on our group.
Okay.
And this
Gregory, do
one
you
is
know
a
the
mind
longest
blower.
distance for a remote control to remote control a drone, or is it like space, or is it like no distance?
Yeah, 5 miles. But you're
Yeah.
not supposed to. You're not supposed to let it go out of your sight. You're supposed to maintain eyesight.
Yeah, but the 5 mile is hard. Like maybe in the open range, but in the inner cities, no way, because there's too much interference. Houses, trees, buildings, Wi-Fi. I've never gotten that far. Maybe a mile. I wouldn't even want to go further than that. It's challenging.
I've done maybe quarter mile, a little bit further than that on the beach because it's wide open and you can kind of see down it.
Right.
But
Right.
even then, you can't see it.
You can't see it, and it's just like I just want to get my bird back. When I fly, I just want to get. I just because there's a rule when you fly. When you fly, you crash,
Yeah.
and
Well,
I try to limit that exposure. But
well,
I crash.
that's why I love the Mavic, because it comes home. Even if I can't see it, I know it's going to come back to to where I started.
How much does a drone cost?
Depends on the drone.
Okay, your most expensive one.
There is no most expensive one. It's how much money you have.
Civilian or military?
No, okay.
Civilian wise, I would say what?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. 10,
Half,
12,
half.
13,000.
So yeah, you're talking for cinematographer use, but if you're talking about those manned ones that you're sitting in, that's half what? The 200 grand,
Wow.
or is it half a million for
Wow.
for the one that you actually sit in, has the 500 pound payload?
Yeah. So a Mavic Pro 3 cinema drone is $4,700. The DJI Avata, which is a smaller entry level something to kind of mess around with and have fun, is $999. And then there's the DJI Inspire 3, which is $16,000. 16,000 for a DJI Inspire 3 drone, and that's got a what does that have? 8K video, 3-axle gimbal, Cinecore image processing, and yeah, it looks like it looks alienish. It's definitely
the shit
DJI.
Have you seen this one? Have you seen this one?
Let me get back over to this window. Oh,
Yeah, there you go. Wow. That was like plasma takeoff.
it was, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing in reverse.
That one's no joke.
Yeah, I just seen that. I was seeing that. I was looking for the other one, and and it goes back up too.
Yes.
Yeah, they equated that to a religious experience too, so.
Play that again.
That's the Dome of the Rock, right?
Yes. Yeah. In fact, my sister has a picture. She has a picture of her and this travel group at the Dome of the Rock.
That's insane.
Oh yeah! Wow.
Well, wait, when they show it, it does. You don't see the Dome of the Rock in the frame, but then afterwards
you don't. Afterwards we do. So I don't know.
Better video of this. There's a better video of this, and it's real clear, and you can see the Dome of the Rock. This one's not a very good video.
But Gregory, I want to ask you, man, how did you get to the point where you got so proficient that you could like get employed like that? I mean, did you practice when you were little? Did you get them when they first came out? I mean, how did you get proficient like that?
Just every hour, little by little. No, I just kind of got in. I would say maybe I think I said 10 years ago, 5 years ago. I waited some time to get in before people were really flying. But yeah, man, just they have what do you call it, simulators on the computer.
Yeah,
you can get on the computer and practice your flight in the simulator. But yeah, just kind of getting out, flying around the Sacramento River, flying around the neighborhood, just kind of getting used to the controls, and then taking it with me, whether they contract with me to fly or not. Doing a production, I'm going to want to try to get it in the air because this is going to help me out. This is going to give me another vantage point in my project. Go ahead, Phil.
That was the thing that always kind of stopped me, even though I've got 3 batteries. It's just you've got 15 minutes of life on a battery if you're lucky, and then putting it up, bringing it back down, swapping it out, trying not to lose sight of it, trying not to piss off the locals wherever you're at, watching you're not too close to airports, and Yeah, it's actually a pretty stressful experience doing it. You know,
Was it
each
always
time.
like that? You know, how long did it take before, like, did you guys start at the time when it was, you know, you could do up stuff and be more freer with it, and you saw that it, you know, got more constricted? Like, was it like that?
When it first went up and nobody knew what they were, it was a little more loosey goosey, you know, and people weren't so aggro about it. Now there's a lot of hate, you know. At least I feel that way. I don't know. Gregory does it more than I do, so maybe yeah.
You think, Greg?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've had one shot out the air, so
Oh shit!
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So
I
did
think
you catch?
I think they were
Did you catch
going
the?
marijuana or something.
Damn.
No. Oh, actually, I did find the drone. I did find the drone. It took me like a day to find it. It happened to be on the house where I thought it was. It wasn't at their house. It was on the roof of the house next to the house we were looking at. And yeah, funny story. It was the guy whose house where I thought it landed, and we were there helping me. It was an older gentleman. I went to school with his high school with his son for both of their sons for 4 years, and I was like, and then this the whole connection, and was like, oh my gosh, this is the Pollock family. So yeah, that was an interesting story.
Wow.
But mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Jeez. Yeah, I've seen drones here and there, but it doesn't bother me. I mean, I don't understand why other people freak out on it.
I've had people try to throw baseballs and footballs at them, you know, as a you know, flying over the beach, like they don't want me filming their fat asses on the beach or something. I don't know.
Right.
You know, they had a gentleman that I was reading a story. A guy from the 50s he said he was contacted by some aliens, and they showed him these blueprints of how to make this craft, this saucer. So he made a small one. The way the story goes, he made a small one, and that got him used to it. So they said, "Hey, we want you to make a bigger one." So he spent the wife's money, spent the house money. I think the thing in 1954 was like $30,000 to make it, and he got it running, and he supposedly flew it, and it got away from him. So he didn't know where it was, and he thought, "Hey, you know, I'll try again." So like 2 years later, he got a knock on his door, and I guess the feds of the government that said, "Hey, you know," they asked him, "Are you so and so?" And they had traced pretty much all the parts to the hardware store, different places where they said, "How did you make that?" So I guess he went to a store, and it says, "You know, don't ever do that again. Matter of fact, we're going to take you." So they supposedly took him somewhere in Colorado to make a bigger one. But I have to look up the name on that. But it just kind of sounds like, you know, he just made a fancy drone, but who knows, you know.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I can fly a mean frisbee.
Hmm.
But can you catch it? Can your dog catch it? Can you run and catch it though? Shit, that's
There's the talent.
yeah. But Gregory, so what fascinates you like in the world of drones? Like, what do you say? Like, damn, that's like a badass drone, or that's the latest. You know, like a quantum drone or some shit. You know, do they have like what's the latest? You know.
I like the FPV myself. I like putting on the goggles and kind of flying what the drone sees and learning that. I really want to get to learn how do some loops.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
do loops and not so much race it, but just to be free. They call it freestyle. Freestyle flying.
Wow. Wow.
I like a good cinewhoop. I like a good, nice and steady. Get some B-roll or just be able to fly in to the building maybe and be able to fly around the building and fly out successfully. That's what I'm into. Low and slow.
And
Just like that brisket, Paul. Just like that brisket. Low and slow.
hey, and also too, with all the TV shows, they do the B-roll, those aerial B-rolls. I mean, even like I was watching 90 Day Fiance, and they got the B-roll coming from a drone. You could see the car going down the road and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really sharp how they do that.
Well, you know what's funny is I was watching last night. I couldn't find anything to watch, so I ended up watching Petey Wheatstraw for like the millionth time. And believe it or not, that must have had a budget for one of Rudy Ray Moore's films. You know, normally he had no budget. That one must have had a little bit of a budget because there's a great opening shot, and I don't know how they did it because back then there were no drones. So it must have been either a helicopter or a hell of a zoom from a high point. And it is one of those, you know, from far out coming like right in shots. And it's beautiful, super smooth. And it's film, you know, no digital back then. Yeah. So when it's done right, it is art. It's, you know, great
Bill, you need to do another documentary since you have a drone and do some aerial B shots like that, man.
I need to stop getting hit with hurricanes. I bought a damn house.
Man, tell me about it.
Flooded 3 times.
Right.
You can't. And migraines too, man. How are you feeling, by the way, Phil?
Better. It's
okay, that's good.
New medication they got me on is supposed to prevent them, and it's supposed to take a couple of months for it to really work in the system. So,
okay.
Getting into it now. But thanks for asking, man. Appreciate
it. Gregory, I want to ask you, man, on the drones. How do you, as a filmer and doing video, when everybody has them now, like, how do you create angles, or what makes somebody better than somebody now, since everybody's kind of using them? And I want to ask you, what's your favorite remote spot that you filmed that you couldn't access unless you had a drone? Sorry about that, Paul.
Williams. Sorry about that. So let me get that. The angles. I'm the angle guy. Like you gotta have the good angles is what makes your video good, right? You know, knowing how to be swooping behind something, or knowing how to come in and having your camera angle come up as you're going down. Just kind of knowing those angles. There's a lot of guys that are good at angles, and that's what really kind of sets you apart. Because you can shoot it with any small camera. You can make a production with your iPhone. You just gotta know how to have the angles and how to have the settings right. And then as far as like where I'd be able to, where I've been able to fly that I haven't been able to. I went to Tahoe one time and was flying in Tahoe, and I really enjoy doing that. That way, I'll need to get some really good angles. But anytime I fly is a good time. And everywhere I fly is a good place, and I just enjoy being in the skies. You know, it's kind of like, you know, instead of having a remote control car, you know, I don't look at it as having a remote control. So I can I can play in the sky. I can always play in the sky. I always crash when I'm in speed mode. Though when you're in sports mode, that's when you crash because it takes a long time. You know, you're going really fast, so when you come off of the levers, it still takes a long time for that to like come to a stop.
Okay. That makes sense.
Which,
you know, you live on a farm. My dad lived on a farm in Lehigh, Oklahoma, and his father had a crop duster, and my dad was doing almost the same thing with drones, but he was flying the crop duster at the age of 12, and that was just something you did on a farm. And when he got married to my mom, he was doing these loop-de-loop type things on the sky, and she freaked out and says, "You're not flying anymore." That was it.
I got a nerd question for you, Greg. It's how long did it take you to get good with flying and operating the camera controls at the same time?
I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
I got one for you.
It's hard because that controls in the front, like down in the front. So you have to fly like this, but you have to have that third finger to be able to scroll the camera up or down. It's really hard.
Well, the autonomy of you know, making sure that you're not going to crash, and yet at the same time you're getting that shot, so you don't lose yourself. You're so in the shot that you don't like run into something.
Right. Yep. I've done that before. I've been trying to pay attention to what I'm shooting, or even staying in the sky for too long trying to get the shot, and you know, boom, you crashed, or you flew for too long, and now your drone is saying, "Yep, I'm coming down."
Yeah.
I'm sending you Go ahead, Paul.
Oh, I'm gonna get a little off track. What's the seasoning you put in this brisket?
Yeah, that's Goldie's. That's Texas Goldie's barbecue seasoning. So whenever I do the meat, I always like when you fry chicken, you always do a mustard. You put mustard on. That's a binder. And then for the brisket, pepper on both sides. You gotta have a good pepper layer. And then after the pepper layer, then you do the Goldies. I put that Goldies on there. And yeah, man. Oh yeah, this little something.
That's some good
This
stuff.
this little something I shot in Louisville here. That's all. It's all drone.
Oh yeah, there we go. There we go.
You know, just different angles.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that shit. Look like you're in a helicopter or something. Damn.
Let it follow me for a little bit.
I always get nervous going over water.
Gregory,
Yeah. Oh,
you filmed this?
yeah. I filmed this. I went out there to go do some work, and this is on my off time. One night we went riding on some scooters, and I've got some music and
Damn.
threw some pieces
Where's
together.
this at? Where's this at?
Louisville.
Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah. Kentucky.
I was stationed at Fort Knox, and I used to party at Louisville
That's a great
Yeah.
shot.
at the Toy Tiger.
Look at that. Oh shit.
Oh man, that is cool.
Oh, look at that.
Damn.
That was handheld. That
Wow, that is cool.
was over 400 feet.
Shit is
When
great.
was
Yeah.
this done? When was this done?
This shit is like greatest hits, man.
This was
So that's night flying there. That's
probably a year ago. Yeah. That's the only night flying I've done.
That's a little scary. Plus, you're over a populated area, and
Yep.
you said you went 400 feet. That's
Yeah, you're
It's,
not supposed to go over 400 feet. That was
exactly.
420
Yeah,
or something.
a little bit of an outlaw there.
Yep. I was like, if anybody sees this who's of some authority and know that building and know the height of that building,
Yeah.
there could be some problems.
Well, that's the other thing. Idiots that go out and they film in the national parks and then they put it on YouTube and they post it. Next thing you know, it's like somebody's knocking on their door. It's like, hey, you know that drone footage of the buffalo? Yeah, guess what? You're going to jail. You know?
And it's just as bad as the guy who's not supposed to be having a driver's license, and he was like driving on the phone while he was on a Zoom call with the judge.
It's the judge. Did you see that? That was awesome.
Man, I know somebody that got a ticket for being drunk while driving a shopping cart. So come
I gotta
on.
wash my hands.
Man, Paul, that smells good. I can smell it here.
Man, I wish Greg was my neighbor.
What program sci-fi are you watching these days, man? That has anything to do with like dronage?
I just watch a little bit of sports. I don't even really watch much TV. Little local news.
Are people asking you to do music videos?
I haven't really. I've done two, but people don't really ask me too often. I need to get into it.
Because I was up in Placerville, like kind of near the area you talked about, and they had like this rib place up there. But you don't see too many brothers up there, so I seen this dude come out. He had dreads, and he was with a group, this group that it was called it was like some country rappers, right? And so he was filming their whole thing, but he's like, yeah, man, I do this. This is my thing. I only charge, I think at the time it was like $1,400, and he gave me his card, but then he showed me his work, and he was doing all drone. It was pretty much that, and he said, he was doing pretty good. Now, of course, that was like, had to be like 5 years ago, but I saw later a lot of rap groups in Sacramento. Man, they just really want to. It seemed like it's a big market for that.
Yeah. There's a huge market for it. You have to price yourself right, and then
You could do it, man, with those shots. Man, that shit I saw you do. man, you a clean up, man. That's not even, you didn't even have any effects or anything. Like, dude, you could clean up.
Yeah,
Yo, so yeah,
you should be
yeah.
in Hollywood.
There's a studio in North Sacramento. You know where North Sacramento is? You know where Del Paso Boulevard is in North Sacramento?
Yep.
All right, there's a studio almost right across the street from the old Iceland.
I was
Place.
just there yesterday. It's called Sacramento Media.
Yeah.
Yep.
You talk to the blonde woman that runs the place?
I didn't go in yet. I need to go online right this second because I happened to just stop in the parking lot after a job, and I had to clean out my work bag. And I was like, "What's Sacramento Media?" And some guy said it's a studio.
Yeah, it's a studio. They have some legit people renting the space in there. They've been open for I want to say like 6-7 years now. But the woman who runs the place is a little bit crazy, but she brings in some big text. She's a nut, but she brings in the big text.
She's a nice nut, huh?
915 Feet Drive in Sacramento.
Yeah,
Yep.
it used to be I think it used to be a roller skating rink or something.
Oh, that's why it looks like that. Okay.
There's an ice rink over there. And
yeah, Iceland. I filmed 2 things at Iceland, a documentary and then some stupid little 48-hour film festival thing over there once years ago.
Wow.
Check
Okay,
this out.
cool.
I investigated the ice rink because it's haunted over there.
Before the roof burned down or after the roof was gone?
Before the roof burned down. And supposedly they have like 3 ghosts. And so we did an investigation over there.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that stretch of Del Paso.
What if Gregory was the first to get an apparition on drone footage, man? That might be cool, or some kind
of. Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
What did he say? Awesome. What did he say?
What if you would be the first to get some apparitions or some kind of compelling ghost footage on drone? Some good drone footage, because most people are filming it while they're in the house or whatever. But that would be cool if you got some drone apparitions,
or even a drone and versus EVP, UFO.
Drone voices too. Voices captured from the drone microphone. That shit would be cool too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's just good to talk to him with these drones. So what's a telltale sign? Like if you're looking in the sky, how can you say something you would say, hey, that's not a drone? What's like a telltale sign for you?
If it's flying for longer than I would anticipate for it to be flying, usually something like a drone is going to have some kind of flight path. So if it doesn't have a flight path, it can be hovering and being in some area for a while. Go ahead, Phil.
Hey, Greg, that name I just threw in the chat there, look her up on Facebook. She doesn't work directly for that rink, but she deals with a lot of the business on El Paso, including that studio and the woman who actually runs it. So she might be able to get you a meet and greet there. She's the one who got me to sit down with the person who runs the place 5-6 years ago. So.
Oh, okay. We'll copy that and look that up.
They gave me a tour of the place back when they first opened it. It is a really nice place. She just wanted me to sign a contract, and at the time I was too stupid to realize the opportunity I had.
Yeah. Okay, I did shoot a music video for a family member, and I'll send you that link. Are we still good on time for the show? I don't want to run us over. I'm having a good time myself.
We're a little bit over, but we're cool.
Okay, cool.
Run that link. Play his link, man. Let's see that. Run that, man.
Okay.
Run that.
This is not the music video. This is the best of. So these are some of my best of shots for the. And so this is a video that he was like a young rapper, and I took the drone with me. And we had a blast. He just was like played the song, and we just shot videos of him just voicing it. And then I made it on the way home from New York.
Damn. Huh.
That was, I put it in the freezer. I just kind of just set it there.
Yeah.
That's a great
Yeah.
shot.
Shit, looks like you've been doing.
That's
Oh, look at that shot right there. Damn. That's nighttime.
That's some nighttime stuff too.
carry your own
Hmm.
lights.
Look at that.
It's
Yeah.
it's cut up real fast to the music, but yeah, there's some good long shots in there.
It's had that green shot. Lights. Like
You're breaking up, Phil.
Gregory,
That's
when
right.
did you do this one?
that
When did
that
you do
room
this one?
where the lights were green. Where it was the room was kind of like green lit. Did you light it like that, or was it already that way?
This was 4 years ago. No, it was already that way.
That's
You
pretty
did this
cool.
4 years ago?
Yeah, I did this 4 years ago.
Wow, these
I'm
are,
gonna have my son watch this show, this segment, so he can see
yeah,
this.
this is beautiful shots.
Yeah, that's a great one right there.
Damn, you kicked ass on this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So that's what I do. I like making little clips, little movies, and just shooting content, editing, getting into the timeline, and kind of putting a story to it. Finding some good music. There's some night stuff.
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of hits on that?
Let me see. What is this? Not probably not 64 views 4
Okay.
years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah, yeah, a couple likes.
All right. That's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
Hell yeah.
yeah, man. So
Oh, I
that's
like
what
that, bro.
That
That's very,
lighting,
that's
that
very
light,
impressive.
you lucked out with that lighting inside that shot there.
yeah.
That green, that's really cool for being accidental.
Look at the clouds in the back. Look at the
But
clouds in
Yeah,
the back right there.
yeah, outdoor shots, there's nothing better than the sun. But indoor shots, that's where it's hard.
I know.
Hey,
That's
check
really
this out.
Lighting.
If Phil was still in Sacramento, I know he would be hooking up with Gregory James.
oh, I'd be trying to if Greg had the
Bill
time
knows
for him.
all the history and all the buildings. I mean, the guys could come together like a team because you know so much about Sacramento from the documentaries and everything. You know.
That is true. That is true. Yeah,
That would be
if we were
formidable.
interested in that kind of stuff. But yeah, and I did 2 documentaries in Sacramento. One was called "The Death of Del Paso." Won the 2015 place called Sacramento Film Festival, Producer's
yep,
Choice.
I've heard that.
And then the 2 years later, I did one called "Made in the Shade," which is about the history of Sacramento's urban forest, and that got played on PBS nationally for 2 years.
That's what Paul was saying. Yeah.
And that
Yeah,
was the
that
last.
was dope.
That was where we started getting into the drones because we actually paid for helicopter. We raised money to go out and get helicopter shots over the Capitol, and it turned out horrible. I could only use a couple of seconds of it because it was so shaky.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't believe how shaky a real helicopter is, and back then stabilizers or just
Yeah.
we didn't have the budget or the equipment to make it really great. And you can't fly a drone over the Capitol anyway. You'd have to stay off to the side or wherever else. But if we rented the helicopter, we were able to stay high enough and off to the side to where it looked like we were going right over it.
Excuse me.
Bless.
Phil, you've been on military helicopter, right?
Yeah. Those are a whole nother animal
Yeah.
altogether.
Yeah. I've been on a military helicopter. Yeah.
They say that those things were leaking like crazy, and then I remember us pointing out the roof. We're like, "What's that? Why is that leak?" They're like, "Oh, just don't worry. Worry if it stops leaking, because that means we're out of fluid."
Over at the Sacramento Metro Airport, I actually took training lessons to fly a Cessna airplane and also a helicopter. So, and I was going to go for my license, but then I just kind of gave up on it.
I had the time and the money. I love helicopters. They're it's like riding a motorcycle through the sky.
Yeah.
That's
That's
all
why I
right, Paul.
call you
You
a drum
became a
beers.
demon warrior. You became a demon warrior, man. Just don't worry about it.
The demon. Oh my god.
Well,
That's
I
how I
want to
met you,
thank.
man. The demon warrior.
I've
I
been
want to
watching the
thank.
documentary. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
I just wanted to thank you, Greg, for your time tonight. Don't want to keep you all night. I know you got
I
a
know. I
family.
can talk all night.
Hey, Gregory.
It's been really cool.
Yes, did it.
Man,
Man.
It's been really cool
I got-
having you on, Gregory. I mean, at the right time, you know. It's I can't wait to show my son those shots too. I can't wait till this is it's edited so I can show him the dronage, man. He's into that.
Yeah. Tell him to thrive in it because there's definitely still space. It's a large
Okay.
sky out there and room for
Okay.
all kind of stuff.
Wow.
And also too, Gregory, when this is all put together, I'll make sure you get the link. And the show.
Oh, I think I subscribed to the page, so I think I may be notified. I think I subscribed.
Oh, okay.
But still send it to me anyways.
yeah.
And this show will be registered with IMDb, so
Great.
it'll be recognized by Hollywood.
Yeah. This will be my first IMDb listing.
Awesome.
Hey man, we glad to have it, man. It's like it's natural. We're gonna have to have you again too, man. We got way more drone questions because we got into footage and all that shit, but we really had a lot more questions, so we got to get you back on.
Definitely, and I got to give my reviews of Phil's piece I'm watching here on a place called Sacramento. A place called Sacramento, 2015, The Death of Del Paso. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that one's only 10 minutes.
Yeah, this was only 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good because the other one's way long. You probably fall asleep listening to hours of tree footage.
Right.
So.
All right, guys. Well, it's been a pleasure. I really appreciate you guys having me on your show, and I got to get their address, Paul, so we can mail them some brisket. We can't do them like that. So give me their address, and I'll go put some hours on the smoker for you guys.
Yeah, Florida's a hell of a trip, but man, I'd love it.
Sorry, Andy.
It's smoked, so it doesn't matter. I can if I say I did a brisket and put it in a box in the mail the next day, it will hold for a couple days, no problem. It's
shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's cured.
Andy.
He's like, I'm putting my address in the chat now.
Hey, sometimes when I go outside, Gregory goes, "Come on over," and then
he's like,
cook.
Bruh, he's like, you do not have to ask me twice for my address. I got you.
He put that shit right away. I heard that. Hey.
Nope, you can't ask me twice. No, I've been eyeing that brisket all night. That's my favorite thing. Every time I go to a barbecue place, they're like, "What do you want?" I want the brisket, of course.
Yeah, I'll send you some brisket.
I'm out of here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep, I got it. All right, you guys have a great night. Thanks for having me on. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Good night.
Thanks again,
Good night, gentlemen.
Great night.
Great show.